And good morning. So this is the TA that I stopped at last night. We're here off of Interstate 40 in North Carolina. Ready to rock. Did my pre-trip. I just need to get up and out. Okay, watching the truck on my left. Okay, and just like that, we're rolling. So I slept well last night. I had the ham and cheese, the ham and cheddar, and then the turkey and cheddar. They have a TA shop here. Okay, need to watch this guy right here. Okay, get up and out.
You'll turn left onto US 601 South. In 200 feet, turn left onto US 601 South.
Okay, and it's just a couple minutes before 5 a.m.
Turn left onto US 601 South. Then you'll turn left onto the I-40 East ramp.
Definitely want to make sure we get up and out quick. Clear both ways. Now I am heavy, so wanted to just get up and over before that truck was coming. He was making a right turn after getting off the westbound. Not sure how well this footage is gonna turn out.
At the light, turn left onto the I-40 East ramp. Then merge onto I-40 East.
Nice and deep. Check the tandems. So all the gauges look good. I still got 2/3 a tank of fuel. I don't have to stop. The appointment's for 9 a.m. and Google Maps is showing it as being 3 hours to get over there.
Continue on I-40 East for 18 miles.
So we have to go through Winston-Salem, then Greensboro, then Durham, then Raleigh, and then jump on to 264, I believe, for a little bit, and then the 64 to get over to Interstate 95 and into the receiver. It's right there in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. I've already scouted it. We'll have to arrive at the customer and figure out where to go, how to navigate it. Looks like I have to drive through the parking lot to get to the back where all the trailers are stacked up. So this should be an interesting dock this morning. Get unloaded. There we go, 5 o'clock. I woke up a little bit early. I got my coffee. Got cleaned up, changed clothes. Telemetry doing 62 miles per hour. Speed limit is 70. Now driving in the dark, it's a little bit different for me. I don't like driving in the dark unless I have to. good at it, but I just don't like it. During the day, you're able to see better. So right here in the dark, I'm not sure how much of the road the GoPro is able to pick up. I transferred all my files yesterday, wiped the SD card, had it set up ready to go this morning. Both batteries are charged fully. I know I can get about 2.5 to 3 hours out of the battery without having to plug in the charging cord. I don't want to do it all that often because it may cause the batteries to swell and then burst on me. So we have a car coming up on our left. No problem, easy peasy. Doing 67 miles per hour. Now there are a couple of interchanges we have to navigate. Exit 174. I drove until I had about an hour left on my 70-hour clock. Today I only have 10 hours and 20-something minutes. Another easy day, running off of recaps. You can see there on the right, there was a truck parked on the off-ramp. I don't think the state troopers mess with truckers here in North Carolina. At least I hope they don't. We saw this morning that TA was pretty much filled up for the free parking, and people had to resort to the reserved parking, which you have to pay 18 or 20 bucks a night for. But at least we were able to shut down, get our break in. And because I got there at 5 o'clock, I had an 11-hour break. Well, 11 and a half hours, I think. Woke up at 4 o'clock on my own. I think I went to sleep at 9. There to the receiver, I'll make the Jimmy Dean breakfast bowl and have some bacon, the microwavable kind. I was able to get my taxes filed last night. That's awesome. And if it didn't go through last night, I missed the deadline, I guess. And I'll have to resort to just doing them by hand, I think. So freaking complicated. And then the rest area coming up, when I looked on Google Maps, man, it is small. And let's check and see what it looks like from the road. No sense in even pulling in there and driving through. You can see it on both sides. So the trucks are overflowing. And when they park like this, if that spot does open up, you don't have the room to be able to swing into that lane. And there was one spot open near the end, and that's why they usually overflow on the exit of the rest areas. Telemetry 61. I've slowed down a little bit. Slowing down even more. All because I'm loaded at 78,000 pounds. Tried to transfer the SD card from the head harness. It was taking forever on the laptop. I don't know if the SD card is bad or what happened to it, if my computer's slowing down. So I just put it in the GoPro. We'll have to record as best we can and then figure out a way to get it all transferred. So Sheetz is a mid-size truck stop chain. They're up in Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ohio, I think, here in North Carolina. They have a pretty good kitchen usually at most of them. Food, we have a Bojangles. Widened out to 4 lanes. Now one's choking down. Everybody's just driving nice and easy. It's 5 in the morning. We don't have all the traffic congestion. So when we get over near Raleigh, Durham, it will probably be about 6:30. Hopefully before the rush starts. So now I have a truck or a car on each side. Like that, he's going to go to the middle lane. Just like I like it. The reefer fuel is still full. This wasn't a temperature controlled shipment. So my dispatcher Nick got me a decent shipment. I've been able to run on the recaps. Downhill, I picked up some speed. Feather the brakes a little bit to keep it right at 70. Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Telemetry, I'm doing 59. Car in front of me is doing 66.
Use the right 2 lanes to take your next slight right to stay on I-40 East, signs for Greensboro. Take a slight right to stay on I-40 East, signs for Greensboro.
Have a merge event. hit that car. Well, don't know what that car was doing. There you go, right to the middle. Get up and around them. Somebody to my back right. Or just hanging out. That's one issue you have when you're in the center lane. You will have cars pass on both sides. Especially if the AI is governed at a certain speed, meaning 60 or 65. I think Tesla has governed their trucks at 60 miles per hour. Speed limit is 65 here. I'm doing 66, so I'm right on the speed limit. And then they just continue to hang out and match the pace. So we're coming up on Interstate 85. We've already passed Interstate 77, which goes down into Charlotte. Okay, finally they went around me. Constantly checking my mirrors to see who's there, to notice the changes. So I have one behind me about 7 or 8 car lengths, one on my left that's passing me. Now the other jumps out over there. This one's coming faster, so I expect them to catch and then go right to the center lane. Where the prediction comes in. And checking to my right, there was nobody there, but then I saw the truck entering up ahead. I expect the cars behind the truck to go to the center lane and pass. The one behind him that stayed is not an aggressive driver. This minivan will cut in front of me. Downshift. Doing 57 miles per hour. Okay, up here I can't tell yet where that exit only lane is. So it will choke back down to 2 lanes. Okay, still 65 miles per hour. So I'm waiting for the truck to move to the center lane. He did pop on, so he may be a local driver and be going on the 74 East. Not really sure where that goes. So the 74 starts over in Illinois, goes through Columbus, or I'm sorry, not Columbus, but goes through Indianapolis. I don't think it continues the whole way. I have been on the 74 before, I think. Made a delivery to Asheboro, not Asheville. That was a shipment I remember because I had to drop the trailer at the customer, let it sit there from Monday until Friday when the delivery appointment was scheduled. Man, that was a pain. I do have a way station over near the Petro in Durham. Okay, telemetry, I'm doing 65. This car in front of me is doing 60. Hit the brakes a little bit, let this car pass me on my left, the truck, pick up, signal, lane change. They're doing 73 in the pickup. As soon as this SUV saw me change lanes, they sped up. A lot of drivers do not like being around trucks. They don't want to be passed by a truck. So I think the psychology of the driver, their mindset, does come into play. And with 2,000 different drivers giving their thoughts about why a driver's performing a certain way, or if they have done something that is illegal or dangerous, they can explain why that driver probably did it. Grilled cheese were awesome, and to think think the My Mini sandwich maker is only 12 bucks. The Black Forest ham and the turkey are like 5 bucks each, and the Sargento extra sharp cheddar cheese slices, I think they were like $6 or $7. The Wonder Bread was a couple of bucks. So I can start making those for lunch. Just real quick. Only takes about a minute to heat them up.
I found a faster route via I-40 East, which saves 9 minutes. If you prefer to stay on the current route, tap no thanks.
Now this guy's doing 54 miles per hour. What the hell is wrong with him? And that Chevy SUV right there just popped over into my lane, sped up, accelerated, and passed the Jeep, and barely made it back over to the passing lane before getting onto my trailer. There's the governor cutout. Air pressure's back up to 125. Man, this guy's all over the place. Now he's doing 61 miles per hour. 59. Got up and around him. So I don't know how the AI would handle that. For me, the different speeds they were traveling at shows they're not on cruise control. It's not consistent or reliable. Sometimes the best thing to do in that situation is just to get it behind you. Okay, so this truck is doing 58 miles per hour. There's 2.3 seconds of following distance. Signal, check left, lane change. This is either Hostess or Little Debbie for the little bites. Entenmann's, the small little That's cute. Textbook move by the white car. So waited patiently for me to get around that Entmans. They weren't tailgating me. That's a disciplined driver. They're doing 77 miles per hour. 12 miles an hour over the speed limit. We have a merge event. Right. There is a difference between a labeled and unlabeled video library. With the GPS already being included in the file, using the keywords. I forgot Mac is got their headquarters here. That's the cool thing about my concept, to have it headquartered in Daytona Beach. Huh. Terminals with Lake Eufaula being the hub. If I'm able to get 200 to 250 acres there in Lake Eufaula, I will be happy. If I have Lake City and Lake Eufaula as drop zones, okay, checking right, checking right, checking right. Everybody's stacking up. They don't let me over.
Lanes to take a slight right to stay on I-40 East. Signs for I-73 North, I-840 East.
And this may be the tricky intersection I was thinking of. I'm not sure about Interstate.
Take a slight
73.
right to stay on I-40 East. Signs for I-73 North, I-840 East.
This is the spot that I remember. Check right, lane change. Porsche, Maserati, Ferrari. Wow. Remember this one. So exit 213 has a Ferrari dealership. That would be awesome. If I won the lottery and had a lot of money. I don't know if I'd buy a Ferrari. I'd still go with buying either the Tahoes or the Suburbans, like I plan to for the trucking company. This way the employees that become S Corporation members have company transportation, lodging, and meals. Get to zero bills, low stress, and awesome contributors to whatever mission they come up with. 66 minutes. We're chipping away at the 3-hour drive that we have. And back there, started thinking about how we can label what we see better. So the AI will label a lot of the video. But again, the keywords are needed to pop out as a flag the 10 seconds before to the 10 seconds afterward. Oh no. Alright, so I'm in the correct lane. I hope. Yeah, I am. Come on, buddy. There you go. So, traffic on both sides. Got a truck to my left. This is where it is sketchy when you get this congested. And now I'm looking up as far as I can, as far forward as I can, to see if there are any brake lights being hit. There's a couple in the turn. I'm not catching this pack very quickly. I'm doing 66 miles per hour. So you have the truck tailgating the one in front of it. Is he going to pop out into my lane? Now they're trying to get through there. That's a warning sign for me right here. That car's still trying to get over. So in a sense, this is similar to running the canyon there in Tennessee. Staying in the middle lane, just maintaining the middle lane. I still have somebody hanging out to my back right. Now everybody's going around this car in front of me. They're doing 57 miles per hour. Now I got 3.9 seconds of following distance. Still hanging out at my back right. Signal lane change. That's a bad drop off right there. There should be warnings about that. asphalt and concrete. A construction team going to work. Doing 57 miles per hour in the center lane. Okay, so I think that was Greensville. Or Greensboro. That's a day cab pulling a little Jeep in tow. That's pretty cool. Starting to stack up. Okay, lane change. A 1-9 with a Wendy's and a Dunkin' Donuts. Could have gotten a Baconator. I love those sandwiches. On the shoulder. shoulder the conditions of the rest areas. Is doing 57, check left, lane change. The sooner you're able to get into a travel lane and begin steady state is what I call it. Just driving normally, holding your ground, keeping a consistent speed, the better. Typically, that's at 3 seconds for me. If traffic is heavier, sometimes I wait until the 2-second following distance. And that guy's a day cabber. He's staying in the right-hand lane. Guys run these roads so much, they are going to be able to tell you about the local conditions, the habits people have that they see a lot. Repack. That looks like a large distribution center. Okay, go ahead and lane change. There's another one. So getting the Kodiak driver aware of all of these different areas could be massive. Okay, sped up on the downhill, I'm doing 72. Okay, back to 68, now 67. And now we have the truck restriction. Based off of the protocol of Kodiak drivers wanting to stay in the right lane, it's not always the case. Drivers to explain why they are in the second from the right lane. It can be picked up by the machine just from the 400,000 hour. Wow, that was a guy that got over late. Here we see parking on the ramp. We see a TA. This is the one that I wanted to go to. I'm at an hour exactly, I think, when I stopped at the TA back there at exit 172 or 173, I think. I only had an hour and 13 minutes. I wouldn't have been able to complete my pre-trip. We saw the 1-9. Those were the two truck stops I thought were viable when I was doing my route planning. Check left, lane change. Okay, usually Ace has newer equipment. That one looked like an outside carrier, so they're using contractors for their surge logistics. similar to Amazon. It's a contract carrier, similar to FedEx, on the dedicated routes. Rest area. Okay, you see the overflow on the outside, or at the exit of the rest area. Okay, that one is far enough from my travel lane that he wasn't a hazard. Merge event, check left, lane change. That was a short on-ramp. Now the white SUV is going to get up to speed. And now he's going to want to pass and go in front of me. I hit the brakes a little bit and there he goes. That's situational awareness right there that you can't pick up unless you're describing it as a driver. As a trucker, the same thing with him. This maroon pickup is going to get up to speed and then he's going to start accelerating. Now he's getting into my lane. Telemetry, that's 1.3 seconds following distance. Only 130 something feet. And I don't consider it that much of a risk. Because he was accelerating, I can see what's in front of him. He's unlikely to brake and cause me to have an emergency maneuver situation. So the combination of the video and the audio is what makes this urban driving so valuable, to be able to get to level 5 autonomous vehicle operations. Uh-oh, hazard, check left, lane change. Okay, back to the right. I still have a truck following me, and right here is a good example of how you can use empty parking lots. The trucks are always in there, usually 6 or 7 will tuck away in there, and I'm not sure if they use the frontage road or how they get back in there, but I see them often. I think I've traveled this stretch probably 4 times over the last 5 or 6 months. Okay, so you have a day cabber hauling steel rebar. Got a hazard. By law, we're supposed to move over for them, the emergency workers. Okay, check right, lane change. up a little bit here. I know the pickup coming on is going to be slow just for a bit. Then they'll speed up more than likely. Telemetry, they're doing 48, 50. Now we have a heavier merge situation. They're going left. The same thing. Telemetry, I'm doing 60 miles per hour. I slowed down a little bit. So if the driver, meaning Kodiak or Aurora drivers, stay in the right lane, you do lose some time. You will slow up. Simply because of all the merging that occurs. In the urban areas, the priority is safety. So that's usually the second from the right lane. So I'm looking for the sheets. Want to see if it's actually a truck stop. And on Google Maps, I didn't see it. This looks like it's a food truck. Pilot and Flying J was another consideration for stopping last night. And right now I'm an hour and 10 minutes into the drive. So the Flying J is fairly large. The Pilot was small. Okay. Have a big slowdown on the right. Watch and monitor. Now I'm into a higher risk assessment. Is what I call it. So why is everybody on the brakes? How much have they slowed down? Telemetry, I'm doing 68. This pickup is doing 66. We have a hazard on the shoulder. Three trucks parked on the off-ramp. Usually if they've parked on the off-ramp, they'll also do it for the on-ramp. There's the Pilot and the Flying J. Looks like they're both full. And now it's 6:09 a.m. Thursday, April 16th. So I've already gotten about 10 days worth of coverage onto my external hard drive. change. Going uphill, I'm now doing 55 miles per hour. I want to be in the far right lane, the furthest right that I can be. At 50 miles per hour, then I turn on my hazard lights. Bobtail coming up beside me. And then over here on the right we have the UPS distribution center. Have another pilot, I think. Yeah, it's a smaller pilot. Okay, and on the left we have the Loves. And that Loves looks small. Looks like it's still full. Right there, the concrete barrier's pushed in a little bit. You can see the heavy merge event. So 2 cars coming on, 3 cars wanting to get off. If there is less spacing in between them, that's what causes the start of the backup. Telemetry 59 miles per hour with 3 of the cars coming on to the highway at once. They're not up to speed yet. They're doing 66 miles per hour, so now they are up to speed. I have 3.4 seconds of following distance. That was expected. I saw the car come from the second from the left lane all the way over. They're probably getting off at the next exit. So I expect them to brake. And then begin the exit ramp. That is prediction based off of their action. Okay, so we're getting close to the Petro, the Tangier outlets. So I remember this area. Telemetry 65. The car ahead of me, the box truck or the truck, are doing only 60. We're supposed to stay in the right lane. Now they're doing 56 miles per hour. We have the weigh in motion coming up. Have an R&L doubles passing me on my left. It's a day cab. I expect him to come over into the travel lane in order to hit the weigh in motion. Most likely, this weigh station is open and I'll have to come in. Okay, here's the Petro. And this was the target for me yesterday. Before I lost time in the hills of Tennessee and North Carolina. An hour and 18 minutes of driving. And there's the green sign. I know that it's open. Guy was slow to accelerate and he knows right away, so that's an experienced driver. He knows right away he has to go into the weigh station. He didn't get the pre-pass.
Continue for half a mile.
Had to wait till the last second there. Okay, looks like 1, 2, 3, about 10 trucks utilized the weigh station as the safe haven. Doesn't look like there are any troopers in there.
In 600 feet, merge onto I-40 East, I-85 North.
Almost sunrise. Let's check the camera. Still at 53% battery. Been driving for an hour and 21 minutes. So if I do plug in the USB-C charging cord to the GoPro, it maintains power when I change over the battery. Well, sometimes. The last few times it said not enough power coming from the charging cord. So this guy right here, the wood hauler, is tailgating the truck in front of him. expected at about 6:30. The congestion has started. Got a truck over there on the shoulder, on the apron. Hazard.
In half a mile, keep right to continue on I-40 East. Follow signs for Raleigh. Keep right to continue on I-40 East.
Truck's doing 52. Doing 49 miles per hour. I do have a couple of vehicles stacked up behind me in the travel lane. Miles to the exit. doing 65. Box truck's doing 55. Catching him kind of fast. Because of the barriers and the way that he was just in the left side of his lane, I want to get around him as quick as I can. He's got a merge event coming up. Okay, staying left. Get up and over. Okay, there's enough separation. And now lane change. still. And this is where the computer can quantify how long the construction zone is. If this is a time and material contract, putting up those barriers, they're charging the state for each day they have traffic control put into place. Check right, lane change. There's a decent apron, so you have a truck parked there. You have two of them. Another heavy merge zone. And that's coming from the stoplight back there on the overpass. I have a car coming up fast in the middle lane. Telemetry. I'm doing 61, they're doing 54. It's because of the truck all the way in the front. And now everybody's starting to merge left. All of them are going around the two dump trucks. Okay, I'm doing 67. Cars are doing 72, 73. And I can tell that I'm catching the dump trucks. Speed limit's still 65 here. I personally don't like being behind dump trucks. I have a crack in the windshield from where a rock hit it. So that dump truck looks like he's up to speed. The other one was only doing 65, it looks like. But I'm comfortable here in the middle lane, doing 69 miles per hour. Everybody's stacking up behind me in the middle lane. The left lane is barely passing. A big merge from the right. There he goes. And I expect some of these cars to want to get over to the left lane. It's the habit that they do time and again. Dump trucks usually aren't on the highway very long. So I'm careful as I'm passing. After the red car, after I gain the separation, I can move back to the right lane. Got a hazard up on the right, somebody on the shoulder. Watch, all the way to the right lane. Go around them as much as they can and then go back over to the left. Check right. Nobody on the on-ramp. Lane change. combination with the head harness, I would be showing my mirrors what I see, and that is what can be synchronized to the side-by-side video. And now over to the right, telemetry, I'm doing 64, they're doing 71. Heavy merge event, signal, check left, lane change. Now I'm doing 60 miles per hour. Vehicle in front of me is doing 65, 230 feet, now 180 feet. 2.0 seconds of following distance. And this car is probably coming over. There you go. Another car coming up on my right. Apex, Triangle Park. Nice Corvette. Okay, there's my 3 seconds of following distance. They're doing 68, 69, and now so am I. The green truck ahead of us has moved back to the travel lane. So this is 3 wide. Some for the right lane. We're diving off. 66 miles per hour, 1.9 second following distance. Now you have a merge event. Now the Honda minivan more than likely will go to the middle lane. Drivers try to find any little way that they can get ahead, just a little. Now we have a merge from the left. These usually cause the congestion. Those vehicles that are slow want to get over to the right. highway van. I bet he goes over into the center lane. Downshift. So I just expect this behavior all the time. Telemetry 60 miles per hour. Doing 55 miles per hour. 3 seconds following distance. Still closing. Okay, clear on my left. Signal, lane change. Okay, 4 miles to the exit. Take the 440 over to the 87. Okay, check right. Signal, lane change.
In 2 miles, use the right 2 lanes to take exit 289 for Wade Avenue toward I-440, US 1 North.
Can Kodiak or Aurora drivers perform in these conditions yet? Telemetry, I'm doing 56 miles per hour, just going uphill. Okay, we see the sign for our exit coming up. We see the hazard on the right, flashing lights. Lane change.
In half a mile, use the right 2 lanes to take exit 289 for Wade Avenue toward I-440, US 1 North. Use the right 2 lanes to take exit 289.
I'm doing 49. They're doing 50 miles per hour. The dump truck got off. Still have the bus with the flashing hazards.
In half a mile, use the left 2 lanes to take the ramp to I-440 East.
Okay, just got blasted by the sun.
Use the left 2 lanes to take the ramp to I-440 East. Continue on I-440 East for 10 miles. All to get around the truck. Unbelievable. Okay, looks like we have a gap in the center lane. For a while, there goes the pickup. All right, 7 miles. We're looking for exit number 14. Got a merge event. Check left. Signal. Lane change. So the white car is slow to pick up speed here. To the right. Must be a transplanted Californian. Left laner and then going all the way to the right to get off at the next exit. Downshift. 60 miles per hour is the speed limit now. They're doing 72 miles per hour. There's my 2 seconds following distance. right. Lane change. So, 7 a.m. Been driving for 2 hours and 2 minutes. Have a heavy merge event up here. Telemetry 60 miles per hour. Come on, what was that from? The shadow? Make sure the white van isn't coming over into my lane.
In 2 miles, use the right 2 lanes to take exit 14 for I-87 North, US 64 East toward Rocky Mount, Wilson.
There goes the van. Okay, that was 64 business.
In half a mile, use the right 2 lanes to take exit 14 for I-87 North, US 64 East toward Rocky Mount, Wilson. Use the right 2 lanes to take exit 14.
AI to pick up the different road conditions for the Department of Transportation platform. Okay. Checking left. Lane change. Telemetry 68. Pilot car's doing 77. They were nice enough to move over, so I was able to change lanes when it choked down from 3 down to 2 lanes. That's an experienced driver, used to dealing with trucks. Okay, 35 miles to the receiver. I've had 2 hours and 18 minutes of driving. So far it's been decent. I mean, I have dealt with traffic, but it should be something the AI can learn from for urban driving. Same as what they probably dealt with up there in Ohio and Indiana for Kodiak Driver. If they did that entire stretch of Interstate 70, or maybe it was on the toll roads, I'm not sure which. Interstate 70 would be the challenge. Dealing with the interchanges, dealing with the city traffic. If that's the case, then Kodiak is out to a big lead, I think, over Aurora. If they only did the toll roads, well, it's complex. It's a step out of the Southwest, meaning Dallas and Arizona, the Phoenix to Tucson run they're doing. If it's able to operate there safely, and adding the video library, which includes a lot of the metro areas, learning how to make the right and left hand 90-degree turns that are needed. With 2,000 different drivers explaining how they're making those right and left turns successfully. So at 7:17 in the morning, we missed the traffic simply by starting out at 5 a.m. So I've gotten a lot of work done on my project. Yesterday I had a conversation with True NAS. That was awesome. Telemetry 67. The van's doing only 58. 2.7 seconds. And there's 2. Lane change. because of the work truck and the weight pickup in front of them. Right lane is stacked all the way out because of the white semi out there in front. You can see them. It looks like several are getting off. Well, most are getting off to go into Cary. Okay, check right, signal, lane change. So that is a major intersection right there. So the video library can also show traffic density for certain routes, where the choke points are. We just saw the 87 westbound or southbound, whichever it is, was backed up. So that can be used for city planners to evaluate the interchanges. So there's a lot that can be done with that Department of Transportation platform. The AI analysis and then support it with the different video clips so that a decision maker is able to view the footage and evaluate it from the human perspective and then consider the AI analysis recommendations and plans. Just by looking at it, I can do the rough estimate for the grading of that project, have a hazard, a truck in the apron. Everybody being on smartphones now, the politicians in Congress, government officials would be able to view it from a mobile platform. To have the 3-page executive summary, then a 20-page synopsis, and then detailed plans for the states. All of that can be produced off that DOT platform if it's done correctly. white truck coming up on my left was tailgating me. I look down, I see that it's an older truck, the leased trailer, and he's got Jersey plates. Tailgating me that close is not good. If I have to react, he's going to be going into the back of me, and it would cause a pile up, meaning I'd hit the hazard in front of me, whether that's a car slowing or what. Even at 78,000 pounds. Okay, there's 2.5 seconds of following distance, 269 feet. So I'm able to control what is in front of me. So while I'm here at the receiver, I'll put all of these clips into CapCut, make it one long video, and upload it to the Vector Hall AI channel. I think this will be informative for some of the potential partners and customers that may want the video library to show what is possible with it. And I have no idea why that guy's moving back over already. Okay, 23 miles till the receiver. We're getting close. Okay, 726. Let me go ahead and update my dispatcher. good enough for them to pull over. out the battery there. But that's okay. Now, why that guy is going so slow, I have no idea.
In 2 miles, take exit 466 for Winstead Avenue.
Okay, we're close. Real close. So the 64, man, what a nice highway. Been driving for 2 hours, 47 minutes. Be able to see the receiver up here on the left.
In half a mile, take exit 466 for Winstead Avenue.
All right, still over half a tank of fuel.
Take exit 466.
Golly, come on. The reefer's still full of fuel.
At the next light, turn left.
So finding out which...
At the light, turn left onto North Winstead Avenue.
Finding out which lane is the correct one to stop in is important.
Go past this light, then, at the next one, turn left onto English Road. At the light, turn left onto English Road.
All right, now I'm in the correct lane.
Take your next left into the parking lot.
Hello, this is Jeff.
Hey, how's it going, boss? Just checking your ETA for this delivery. Yeah.
About 10 seconds. I'm
Perfect. You're the
pulling
man.
in
Your
right
tracking
now.
just got interrupted, so I just wanted to double check on you. I appreciate
Okay.
it, boss. Just let us know when you're empty over there.
All right, we'll do.
Thanks, sir. Have a good one.
Yep.
All right, boss.
Bye. All right, so let's find out where it is here in the parking lot. Ah, come on. Oh no. Huh? Uh-oh. This isn't good. Well, let me find out. So unless I'm missing something, this is their parking lot. But now where do I deliver to? Okay, so let's just go and find out. All right. Got the wallet, get the phone, got the paperwork. All right, and we're done.